I used to think of myself as the man who always gave people the benefit of the doubt. Jealousy? Control? Those weren't part of me. My wife, Leah, and I had been together for 8 years, since our college days. She studied psychology. I was in business school. She had that kind of laugh that could melt walls, and eyes that locked on you like you were the only soul in the room. For years, I believed our marriage was steady. Not flawless, no marriage is, but real and grounded. We had our small rituals. Homemade pizza and crime documentaries on Fridays. Slow walks through the park on Sundays. Our disagreements were rare and always softened by a smile, a hug, or a compromise. Then about 6 months ago, the ground shifted. It wasn't dramatic at first. She added a passcode to her phone, claimed she had to stay late at the office for deadlines, became obsessed with the gym. Her phone started sleeping under her pillow, and her tone toward me grew colder, sharper, as if even simple conversations drained her. I told myself she was under pressure, that she just needed some breathing room. But then came the night at 2 a.m. when I woke to an empty bed. I checked every room until I heard a voice, her voice, speaking low. I found her in the laundry room, perched on the dryer in the dark, phone pressed her ear, giggling softly. "I miss you, too," she whispered. "No, he doesn't suspect a thing." I didn't step inside. I just stood in the doorway, unseen, feeling something inside me break, not in rage, but in a clean, quiet crack. I went back to bed before she could notice. When she returned 15 minutes later, she curled up against me and kissed my shoulder like nothing had happened. I stared at the ceiling until morning, silent and still. The next day, I didn't confront her. I didn't yell or cry. I brewed coffee as usual, dressed, and left the apartment. But instead of heading to the office, I drove to a gray building downtown with a small brass plaque. Waters and Clark, Family Law. Inside, an older attorney named Thomas Clark listened while I laid out the facts. My voice was flat, detached, the way you describe a failed deal. He asked one question. "Do you want to repair this marriage or walk away?" I didn't blink. I want to disappear. Over the next few weeks, I moved like a shadow. We built a case. I hired a private investigator. The photos came back grainy but clear enough. Her hand in another man's outside a wine bar. Her lips on his in a parked car. Her slipping out of a budget motel on a day she claimed she was at the salon. I didn't study the pictures. One glance was enough. I started dismantling my life with her piece by piece. Shifted money. Closed joint accounts. Secured an apartment 3 hours away. Arranged to work remotely. Rented a storage unit and moved my belongings quietly so she wouldn't notice. Through it all, I pretended nothing had changed. She didn't suspect a thing. She was too busy texting him under the table, smiling at her phone while I talked about my day. At night, she barely reached for me. I didn't press. I simply waited. Then, on a Tuesday morning, I followed our routine one last time. Kissed her cheek, told her I'd be working late, and walked out. By noon, divorce papers landed on her desk. By sunset, my number was disconnected. The house key sat on the kitchen counter. The lease was terminated. My email sent an auto reply. This account is no longer active. I erased myself from her life without a single word. Her calls came in waves. First cold and furious. "I can't believe you're doing this." Then frantic and tearful. "Please, talk to me. I'm sorry." She sent her sister. She tracked down coworkers. She even appeared at my parents' house sobbing. But some betrayals don't earn a conversation. Some wounds run too deep for words. It's been 10 months now. I live in a quiet coastal town. My office is small, my walks are long, and the ocean air smells like salt and freedom. At night, I sleep without tossing, without wondering. Sometimes, over coffee on my balcony, I think back to that night in the laundry room. The giggle, the whisper, the moment I finally saw her for who she was. And I smile, because I never screamed. I never begged. I never fought. I just walked away and left her to face herself in silence.